Hybrid reborn, Prius reborn. We are in the all-new Toyota Prius Prime. I have full details in terms of pricing, specs, range, power, and more. Today I'm going to tell you just how good Toyota's new Prius Prime really is. And it all starts underneath the hood. This very light aluminum hood hides a 2-liter 4-cylinder, which is an upgrade over the 1.8-liter 4-cylinder that we had on the outgoing Prius and the outgoing Prius Prime. You get 150 ponies just from this gasoline engine, but the big upgrade is on the electrical side for the Prius Prime. 161 horsepower from the dual motor Toyota hybrid system, a combined horsepower of 220 horsepower, 0 to 60, well under 7 seconds here. But here's the kicker. When you plug this thing in your garage overnight, you top this 13.6 kilowatt hour battery off, you're gonna have up to 44 miles of purely electric range. Now this model has the 19-inch wheels, which is standard on the XSE and the XSE Premium models. Your range does go down just a little bit to 39 miles of EV range. And what's fuel economy when you're just in normal hybrid mode? Let's say you've used up all your EV range on this guy. Well, it goes down to about 49 miles per gallon on this model. But on the base model, the SE model with the 17-inch wheels, you'll be able to get 52 miles per gallon in pure hybrid mode when the battery is depleted. Also love all the little Easter eggs. Make sure to watch my Easter egg video on the normal Prius, because a lot of those Easter eggs will carry over for this vehicle. When the car's just sitting still, it's not normal for the engine to be running like this. I have it in charge mode. There's a little button on the inside that forces the gasoline engine to work as a generator to charge the EV battery pack. I'm doing that because when I got into this car, there was no EV range left. So I'm using this as a generator, so I'll be able to tell you guys what my driving impressions is, when it's driving in fully electric mode, when it's driving in hybrid mode, and what the efficiency is in each of those modes, as well as acceleration. Closing the hood, it doesn't get that much quieter. It's not like luxury grade insulation from that hood. Let's talk about the just stunning design here on the Prius. It is really breathtaking. And even though I've seen this vehicle 3 or 4 times in person now, my jaw still drops when I see it. This is a cutting edge paint color, one of 6 paint colors on the new Prius. Unfortunately, we don't get that beautiful mustard yellow color. But the front here, everything looks just like the normal Prius, should I say the XLE and limited grades. We have the fog lights down the bottom, parking sensors on front here on this XSE model. Like I mentioned, the 19-inch wheels. We got this hammerhead design though that is so prominent here on the new Prius. Look at that squirrel's getting after it. Now unfortunately we have this license plate holder that's not necessary where I live in Florida, but I'd want to put something cheeky here. If I had this Prius, I'd put maybe a custom little sticker there for Hybrid Reborn or something. But coming to the side here, you see the super aggressive swept back roof line. It's so sleek, very aerodynamic here. And it's just, even the design from every angle when we come around to the back here, it's just so beautiful. The handle's tucked in to the C-pillar there. Might not be the most convenient for little kids, but man, does it clean up the body lines immensely. Now the XSE model has a white light bar or a clear light bar here in the back. You also have the Prius lettering, the Prime lettering, which is unique to our market here in North America, because other markets just call this the PHEV. Now, this is a new logo. This is a Beyond Zero logo. This is going to be on every single Toyota electrified vehicle, from their hydrogen fuel cell Mirai to their BZ4X to all their hybrids. A small little Toyota logo nestled inside of the liftgate as well. So let's go ahead and lift up the liftgate here. And as you can see, the roof, this has the double sunroof. You can also get the solar roof, which is an option in North America as well. Prius embroidered onto the mat. It's a lot of styrofoam here, and it is bolted down, so don't think you could remove this, probably because it's hiding some electrical components would be my guess. And then here's your level 1 charger, just a typical household plug-in, but it'll charge around 3.3 kilowatts on a level 2. And this also doesn't have an automatic liftgate. You do have that in the XSE Premium, for example. Not necessary in my opinion, but let's go ahead and get on the inside, and that's where this new Prius is also surprising. Just like the standard Prius hybrid, we have an optional 12-inch screen here. It is not standard on the XSE, but it is standard on the XSE premium grade. And this is standard across all grades. The digital screen MID behind the steering wheel. Your eyesight looks over the steering wheel to see it, and it kind of eliminates the need for a head-up display, something that's no longer offered on the Prius. I do really enjoy this new steering wheel. I love having these physical buttons here, and this is a bit of a Lexus thing here. It's a little bit of a slidey gauge without any physical components that we see in like Lexus F Sports, but it slides to the side and allows you to select all of your different information here. Since I parked it, I now have 6 miles of range. It had 1 mile of EV range when I got in this vehicle, so the little 2 liter is doing its best to top off the battery, so we have a little bit of EV range for us in a little bit. This model also has heated seats, and it has the Softex seats. We have synthetic leather here. The base SE grade will have like a cloth seat. Your XSE Premium will have some more features like ventilated seats. It'll have the JBL audio, which you'll have a speaker into the A-pillar. And then you also have the option on the XSE Premium to get that solar roof. You have manual sunshades for this panoramic roof back here. Pretty satisfying, honestly, to move these back and forth, but we're going to keep it closed. No digital rearview mirror on this model, for example, but it is auto dimming, I believe. We have a vanity mirror here and a nice little LED light as well. And you see this little bar behind here. This is traffic jam assist. This is standard on the Prius Prime. But we've seen it in Lexus products in the recent history, like the RZ, for example, as well as the RX. The redesigned RX has this technology, this eye sensing technology. Heated steering wheel is standard across all grades from my knowledge as well, which is great to see. We have tons of USB ports in here. This is keeping my Android Auto fed, but it does do wireless. You have another USB-C charger. You have a 12 volt here and a couple cup holders. You have a hidden compartment in there that says hashtag hidden compartment. You have a wireless charger on this model. Now, what I have noticed is that I do like the shifter. It reminds me of a bit of a horse saddle with this little knob here in the front. The driving modes are kind of hard for me to get to. My elbow runs into the seat, so that's kind of unfortunate to play with these buttons here, which probably you're not going to be using them that often, to be honest. But you have four different drive modes if you include custom. You have sport, normal, and eco. And then here is what I used just a second ago. I held this button down so the engine is forced to charge the battery. And then you can also just put in auto EV hybrid and let the car do its thing, selecting when to run in fully electric mode. The design in here is very unique, and materials in here are much better than my 2012, but it doesn't mean they're anywhere close to luxury. We still have hard touch here at the bottom of the dash, hard touch here at the rear portion, which is not a big deal. No one's going to be back there touching around. We still have a large dash though, which is synonymous with other Prius generations. We do have hard touch here though. I wish this was a little bit softer, more premium material here, like we have on this side. This feels great. On all Prime models, we have this red LED light that goes across, and just kind of like a Cabernet-like red material plastic here as well. I don't think it looks quite as good as the upper non-Prime grades, to be honest. And I do really appreciate the switches here. Very easy to operate, the climate control. I'm not having touch-sensitive buttons here, so this is literally a dream experience, very minimal and functional at the same time. Opening this up, we have 2 more USB-C chargers and a nice felt line compartment, but let's go ahead and get in the back seat. When the Prius Prime came out, in the 4th generation, it initially came out without a middle seat because of the electrical components. Now, no problem. 3 seats in the back. It is it's a 5-seater, and we have very easy to access child latches here for your car seats as well. Folding this down reveals a couple cup holders here, and of course these seats will fold down just like any other Prius hatchback in the past as well. More USB-Cs back here, and here is your household plug-in AC 120, 1500 watts of continuous power. This thing is a mobile generator, and it will provide power, let's say in a blackout, or in my case it would be a hurricane. So this is a must-have option, and it is available on the XSE and XSE Premium, not on the base SE grades. We have all-weather mats in here, fit very nicely, and this seat is set up for me at 6'1", and that door slam back here is okay. Hard touch here at the top, and it is at least I have a soft armrest here. And what do we safety first. This is the first time I've seen that Easter egg, so safety first. This could be a problem when you're driving in bumpy situations, so you might be best tucking the seatbelt in somewhere so it doesn't rattle while you're driving. So the seat, nice soft touch to the back of it, no mat pocket on this side, only on this side. And I do have good enough leg room here. I could even put my head all the way up here. Yes, I have a little bump back here, so even though we have a really aggressive roof line, I have enough headroom that I'm never touching the top here. If I slump, I still have, my knees can go out, I still can be very comfortable back here in the new Prius Prime, even though the battery is sitting underneath the seat. But what do you guys say? Are you ready to drive the new Prius Prime? Let's test out this 220 horsepower Prius. Who would have thought? Backing out of the parking spot, this XSE does not have a 360 camera, unfortunately. But you know what? We have parking sensors on here. In a car this small, you really don't need to have 360 camera, in my opinion. The rear view mirror is huge, and the rear window is tiny. There's no longer a double window on the Prius, so my visibility out the back is pretty limited. That's when you could get, you know, a digital rear view mirror, for example. The brakes in here are actually really strong, nice and progressive. They actually might feel a little bit better than the GR Corolla's brakes that I played with yesterday, at least from a linearity aspect to it. But they're both of them have great brake pedals. It feels light years better than my 2012 Prius brakes. There's all sorts of squishiness and uncertainty with my old Prius brake pedal, and here it just feels like a normal car. And in terms of regen braking, there is a B mode for brake. That would be great for like going downhill, for example. I'm just going to keep it in drive mode. And in operation, I think the brakes are really good, very predictable, so much better than my Priuses. And there's very little nosedive going on like my old Prius, so it feels so much better, way more planted as well. Let's see here. I'm just going to keep up with this Chevy in front of us, and I'm in full EV mode, keep that in mind. The engine hasn't kicked on at all, and I'm already up to about 60 miles an hour, and the pedal was never down more than about 50% there. So very impressive, and that was going uphill too. So plenty of power here when you're just in full EV mode, absolutely. Now we're out on the highway. I was actually expecting more road noise. You do feel the road, but it is still soft. So I do feel like I'm connected to the road more than, let's say, a high-end luxury car. But the road is nice. The ride feel is pretty floaty and comfortable at the same time. This big semi passing me to the left, I can hear it, but it's not obnoxious, and I don't feel like it's distracting, other than I feel like I'm going to get squished. That's something different altogether. All you do to turn on radar cruise controls is press this button here, and I keep my foot off the pedal. And I can also adjust the distance with this button, and it shows it in a very small screen right here, so it's kind of hard to tell. You pretty much have to have really good vision if you want to see this small screen up in front. But I can move it to the side, and I get less information about my efficiency, and then I can see my safety features a little bit better. But we're going to get off the freeway. I'm going to take off radar cruise control here, and this also has proactive driving assist, where it can slow the car down for you. I didn't check to see if it was enabled or not. I usually turn that off in the new Toyota Lexus safety suite. But the brake pedal felt really good there. No problem with the predictability of the brakes. And I think I can go ahead and get out in front of traffic here. They're all going onto the freeway, so I have a clear road ahead of me. No problem going up this hill. Very smooth, super quiet when you're around town. And like I said, on the highway, it wasn't very loud either. Nothing like the Corolla. The Corolla is much louder on the freeway than this car. But don't think it's going to be luxury quality like a Lexus UX, for example, out there on the freeway either. Toyota says this with the 19-inch wheels gets about 114 miles per gallon E. I don't really like that system. I'll tell you guys what my my efficiency here is. I'm getting 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, and that was with going up to highway speeds as well as going up these hills in California. I know in Florida it would be higher than that, absolutely, because it's just flat and warm, and I never have to worry about elevation changes. So I would say minimum with a light foot, you would be able to get at least 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour in terms of efficiency. And I don't have any like regen paddles here. That would have been kind of nice on the steering wheel in this situation with very steep downhill, to have some regen paddles to have the car slow down without having you touch the brake pedal. And I guess it would have been nice also to have a one pedal driving. I think that would have been a feature that they could have implemented. I know Volvo has plug-in hybrids that even without the EV range left on the battery still can operate in one pedal mode. Just great responsiveness. Drives just like any other electric car. Maybe not as much power as a lot of the electric car options I've driven, but the responsiveness is there, just like, let's say, Toyota's BZ4X. When you put your foot down, you're not waiting around for a transmission or a gasoline engine to hit the right rev so you get power. It's instant and very responsive. I just realized my microphone had been turned off, so I apologize for that. Hopefully the audio quality wasn't too bad coming from the GoPro, and I'm not gonna, it wouldn't make sense for me to refilm all that stuff. That was pretty organic. Under 20 miles an hour, you do hear a little bit of that synthetic noise, but it's really very quiet. Toyota, like my Prius, has a much louder synthetic noise, I would say, and then the previous generation, 4th gen Prius, had a much louder noise than what I just heard there. We're gonna throw this in the turn here, take it nice and wide. Power out of it. Yes, the Prius, and that was just a portion of the power, but man, it just feels so good to have that instant power when you get onto the gas pedal. What did it feel like in the turn there? Very planted, and you know, it does weigh more, maybe about 100 pounds more than the normal Prius, but with that big battery pack, the weight distribution is pretty low in this car, so it felt pretty planted and stable in the turn, even though you have these little tiny skinny tires. We'll do a 0 to 60 going downhill here. I know it's not the most accurate, but I don't know when I'm gonna have a straightaway in front of me, and I'm in full electric mode, and that was not even in sport mode, and that was 9.75 downhill. Even when you're in fully electric mode, think of it as just as fast as the old Prius with the gasoline engine helping out. So very impressed with the EV power here on the new Prius. It's definitely all you would need for everyday driving with 161 horsepower or so. So I press this button here by the shifter to force it straight into hybrid mode. It now that I'm going downhill, it's in fully electric. The engine will kick on from time to time, but what I will notice here is that the engine, when it does kick on, it's very minimal. I don't hear it. I have to look at the button or the little EV icon here to let me know if the gasoline engine is on. Now, it obviously depends on how hard you're pressing the gas pedal. The gas engine is on right now, and like I said, I have to look at my display here to find out if the gasoline engine is on. So very impressive to make this feel even like an electric car when you are not running on EV only mode, or let's say when you ran out of that EV range. So when you put it into hybrid mode also, it'll run just like any other normal Prius. And what that will do in this car is that it'll keep the charge that you have left in the EV battery where it was. It's not going to eat down your EV range, for example. So it's going to keep it at 6 miles of EV range. It's what I had left when I switched it into hybrid mode. So we have it in sport mode here, and the regen braking actually feels a little bit more strong in this mode. And I've just pedaled down. I got traction control cutting in. This thing is properly quick. That was going uphill, quite a strong grade here. And this thing, it's very responsive. There goes my drag meter. They've knocked my drag meter off for going so fast. There's not a lot of waiting around either. It's almost instantaneous. Not quite like an electric car, but dang is it close. And I do like how the engine sounds. Holy smokes. Like, I'm impressed with and that's my drag meter flying around now. I'm really impressed with the power here. It does feel noticeably different between normal mode and sport mode. And I also had another large person in the car earlier when I was playing around with it. Now just myself, it does seem like it's more eager to perform like a sports car. And we got to stop here. I know it's a little bit uphill, then we'll go downhill, but it'll give us an idea of a 0 to 60. I'll torque brake it as well. We got a Tesla Model 3 next to us, so we might be able to see what kind of performance. I did not torque brake it because I wasn't ready, but she pulls. There's 60, 7.01. So there you go, uphill. I didn't torque brake it. No problem doing a 7-second 0 to 60 here in the Prius Prime. And that's also about as fast as what the normal Prius is, but this definitely feels faster than the standard Prius with 196 horsepower or so on that model. You definitely feel the extra 20 horsepower, and it definitely comes in and the feeling of electrified horsepower and torque. And it's just strange I'm talking about the Prius so much when it comes to power, because now it's actually a sports car. You know, it's not like a Supra or a GR Corolla, but I'm having almost as much fun in this car as I was in the GR Corolla yesterday. And I'm getting 49 miles per gallon as well during this drive while I've been pushing it pretty hard. So 50 plus miles per gallon I think is gonna be pretty easy for you, and then easily 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour in efficiency on the electric end. I have nothing but impressive things to say about the Prius Prime. And the pricing, let's talk about the pricing because that's the last thing. It comes in around 32 for the SE grade, and the XSE starts around 35, and then the top trim is almost $40,000. This is a trim I want. This is a trim I'll try to get as well. I don't need the solar roof. Even living in Florida, the solar roof wouldn't give me the miles needed to recoup the cost of what it will cost as an option. And it takes away the double sunroof, and I just love and adore the double sunroof so much in this Prius Prime. So no need to get the solar roof. I don't need ventilated seats either. That would be nice, but not $4,000 nice. And no, I don't get the JBL audio, which I can live without as well, because most of the time when I'm going to be driving my new Prius, I'll be, well, that's a cross traffic alert there warning me as I was, anyways, as a bit aggressive. I don't need the JBL because most of the time when I'll be driving this, I'll be talking on the camera, doing driving impressions in the Prius Prime when I get it. So definitely stay tuned on the channel. I will be getting this car. I don't know when. I know Toyota said May is when it's available, but it could be by the end of summer or so by the time I get my own vehicle. I wish it was in yellow. I guess that's one thing I could say, but it looks so good in just any color that I don't really care which color I'll be able to get, as long as I can get this car very soon. The comfort's here. The affordability is here. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to cost more than $40,000, and when you load this thing out, it's around $40,000. And like I said, I'd be happy with this mid-grade XSE for around $35,000, $36,000. And it's like one of the ultimate no compromise cars. Would I want a little bit more cargo space in the back and maybe more visibility of the rearview mirror? Yeah, probably, but man, no car's perfect, and the design is so strong in here, the power is so strong, the efficiency is so strong, and the technology is so strong that it's really a vehicle that's kind of a jack of all trades. But I got to shut it down. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.